Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the HG Jogan Kai from the Kyoukai Senki series Part 2. So the anime of the Part 2 version is actually going on. Funny enough that this unit actually hasn't been seen yet in the main anime because the Jogan hasn't been gone through the upgrade yet. Now, on the last episode we did kind of see a glimpse of its upgrade parts, so hopefully we'll get to see these guys in battle soon. Alright, so I think I'm a week late for reviewing this because last week I had something else to review, so sorry about that aspect. And then also, currently I am using my new setup, meaning that I'm using my new bookshelf and my new mic which is currently, installed. So hopefully everything works out. Alright, so as usual, let's go over the components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Jogan Kai itself. Now, I would like to mention it's not most of the build, like for example the body, is still using the same style of build going on here. There has been a slight change on the leg build, but once again, articulation wise or like the mechanical wise, it still uses the same basis. So it's just the same basis but different outer design. That's the best way I could say it. Alright, so currently on the Jogan Kai itself, there's no weapons on it, but we do have new shoulders and such. And there are some stickers as well, and hand-wise, I am using the multi-purpose hands. So sticker-wise, here is the sticker sheet going on here. Oops. So I think it's around the same amount of stickers that we got previously from the original Jogan Kai. So here we still have the same middle body sticker going on here as well. Here we have the wrist sticker, the golden stickers that goes onto the leg area. So there's you use 8 of them because each of them uses 2 each of these stickers as well. And there's this one that goes onto the side. There's this one that goes onto the weapon, and these long ones are the ones that go onto the main wrist, if I remember correctly. So yeah, and then here we still get the golden stickers for the piston actions right over here, and we still get these vent stickers, which I did not use. Alright, so before we go to the other components, let's go over some leftover parts. So another one here is one of the leftover parts. This is the part for the Gatling gun. You only use 3 of these type of parts, so which is why they so each plate would have 2 parts, and they're not exactly the same. The two of them are different from this one. So yeah, so we do have one leftover part here, and then we do get some leftover parts from the original Jogan, as far as I know. So here we have these parts as well from the original Jogan. I believe these were the leg areas. Here we have another of the same plate here. Once again, the legs and the head part as well. And then let's see, here we have a yellow plate going on here. So here I believe these were from the side areas. This was the shield. Here we have the rabbit antennas and more parts. I believe these were from the original shoulders, if I remember correctly, or not. So that's that. And then we have some leftover parts. So let's see, we have the E2 parts. So we have these small parts going on here as well. And let's see, the final part is also a repeat of those parts. So not as much, there are some leftover parts, but not as much, and nothing too special going on there. Alright, so let me get this out of the way. Once again, my bookshelf is much more wider now, so it is much more easy for me to move stuff. Alright, so let's talk about its weapons or equipment. So the main equipment, this giant Gatling gun that he actually wears around him. So this thing is actually called the 45mm rotary armor machine cannon. So basically the Jogan Kai went from sniper to pretty much, yeah, just I guess the best way to say it is a tanker or something like that. But yeah, you basically have to attach this. You do need to do some parts forming. So you have to take this half part back out, and then you have to basically work your way around to wear this guy around. So you have this giant Gatling gun. Here is that sticker that I was talking about for the green one. So it's really cool, and then this part does actually rotate. So I can kind of imagine some people with, engineering ability can actually make this spin with some batteries and such. But yeah, I really like this concept going on here. And then on the inside, we have these handles for the hand to actually hold. Now this one may look like one of those vinyl, those plastic bag materials, but this one is just a pure plastic piece. So no need to worry about that. So the way how this works is that you actually need to take this part off, and then this is the way how you take it off. So you actually pull this part off entirely, and then you lift this part up, and then you can see there's 2 pegs here. You attach this to the backpack, you close off here, and then reattach this here. So that's it. And here we have the handles, and while the sniper rifle is no longer there, we still do get the Uzi looking machine guns here. So they're actually stored very nice. So they're actually stored in here, and you can actually pull them out. Now the only thing that's lacking, I think these are the same machine guns. I think, although I think I think they're lacking a few stickers, or I could be confused with a different kit. I believe there was a Uzi machine gun that had a small sticker on the bottom, but once again, I could be mistaken with a different kit. Or this could be entirely different because, once again, my original Jogan Kai is at my parents' house. Yeah, so just to give you guys a reference, this is definitely a good thing. If you're not too into the sniper rifle, this is a better offer because, once again, in order to get the double machine guns or double Uzis for the original Jogan Kai, is that the original Jogan Kai would come with a sniper rifle and a right trigger finger hand and a combat knife. That is pretty much it. But if you buy the store carrier, it will come with the extra new shoulder parts, the 2 machine guns, and a left trigger finger hand. So yeah, this one actually comes with everything you need to do everything without buying any more stuff. Okay, so let me get these out of the way, and we'll be showing you guys that demonstration. And like the previous version, yes, we do actually get some alternate parts for the back skirt. So we do get the extra support here, although I do find using this one on this setup is a little bit more difficult. So I'll show you guys what I mean by that later. And hand-wise, obviously, other than the multi-purpose hands, we do get the fully open style hands, which is always good, and then the double trigger finger hands. This is very good at the same time. So yeah. All right, so we've seen enough about the components. Now let's go over the articulation quick, and then later I can show you guys all the equipment demonstrations here. Let me go up a bit and let's see what we got. All right, so obviously because it's a upgrade, which is called the Jogan Kai, we do have some new improvements. I think the head design wise, I think this looks much more better, if you ask me. So let me do this first. Yeah, the head. So for the head, all these yellow parts are all color separated pieces, and then the eyes or the visor here is just a pure clear plastic piece. No stickers were used, and I really do like this more sharp and edgy looking look. So it can go, so you can kind of stretch out the head a little bit, but once again, it can go down that much, and then up a little bit, much more better like that. So no big deal there. And then 360, for some reason, you can go all the way 360 with the neck joint together. So the top section here joint is actually not a ball joint. It is actually connected to here. So I guess that's the way how it works. Alright, so one of these new things is that this time for the Jogan, you actually get the same shoulder pads for each shoulder, because if you bought the original Jogan Kai, one would be smaller and one would be longer to be used as a shield. So yeah, so we have these parts that I believe can rotate around, and then so this part, the entire connection here can rotate around, or you can only rotate the shield area like that. And then since it is a double hinge joint, you can actually move this forward and backward, and if you want to, you can actually store the entire joint inside the shield like that to get a more compact look. So that's pretty good. And then arm can go 360 entirely, and then shoulder articulation wise, I'm not sure why I'm having so much trouble. So there we go. So for shoulder articulation wise, it can go forward pretty well. That's actually a very good bend going on here. So you can see it can go forward and backward pretty well like that. And while you do that, you can see the piston going in, the golden piston going in and out like that. So that is a pretty good effect. Now keep in mind this part is a sticker, so just wanted to mention that. And then the arm itself, you can go 360 on the lower area as well. The front, the bend is pretty good, more than 90 degrees. Since it is on a peg, you can actually go backwards if you want to do so for some reason. And then this yellow part, while this yellow part is a color separate piece, this more golden yellow area is a sticker. So this one actually goes all the way around to the other side here for some reason. But still, oh well, I mean, at least this would give it more, you know, a sturdier stick going on there. And then once again, we have the ball jointed hands, and still it has that Kyoukai Senki style, you know, structure of the arm, so you can go move the other way around if you want to do so. Going 360, I think it is possible. Yeah, we can go 360 if you want to do so. All right, so the arm articulation is still there, so no big deal. Now the body structure is overall the same. Once again, the only thing that I find it odd for this specific kit is that there is a sticker here on the middle. So yeah, I think they could have technically done a color separation here, but once again, it is a slightly different blue tone from the part, so maybe that's the main reason. All right, so and then the body, once again, the structure or the overall connection point is still the same. So number one, you can go side to side, but once again, it kind of rotates in an angle like that. So that's that. And then you do get a nice ab crunch. And you could technically rotate the entire body around, but once again, make sure you're moving everything correctly. So that's that. 360 on here is going to be possible, so no need to worry about that. All right, now for the legs here. So for the legs, the only part are stickers is number one here. So the way how you apply these is that the golden stickers, you apply these V-shaped ones on each side, and then on the front and back, you apply these type of square type stickers going on here. So I do suggest that you apply the square first and then the V-shapes to get a more cleaner look, because I did one on the other way around and it does leave out a messy look here around the edges. So yeah. And then on the sides here, there is these gray or dark areas are a sticker if you want to just know about that. All right, the back skirt. And the back skirt, I'm having less issues with the back skirt because the original Jogan Kai, I remember the back skirts popping out a little bit too easily, but now this one, it has a much more firm look, firm connection, and then we have this other middle connection. All right, and then now for the legs here, the legs, one thing, you can go backwards as well and then forwards with no problem, because there is no front skirt or side skirt or back skirt that's blocking the way. And then we do get a nice side swivel, and then going to the side is no problem as well. Now for the leg articulation here, this part, keep in mind, only this lower area is the part that bends, not this entire 90-degree section here. So it can go forward like that, and then backwards. Let's see how far it can go. So they did kind of improve here, because I remember, I think it was the Jogan that actually did have slight limitations on moving about on the lower leg. So I think they did fix that. So that's that. And then the feet, once again, it is on the peg, so you can go 360 on the lower feet itself, and then you do get a nice pivot joint. Now the pivot is actually on the feet as well, so there's no like ball joint here. Everything is just joints, and now the movement is only on the feet. And then toe wise, you can move them together, so you can go down that much, or if you want to go up that much. And if you need extra support, you can always lower this thing down. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation here. So I think the articulation here it still retains the same overall Kyoukai Senki mech style articulation here, but I remember the Jogan being the one that was kind of tricky to deal with because of the limitations on the leg and certain areas. But now I think they improved that much better. And I believe, yeah, design-wise, this thing does definitely have a different aspect after the design here, because it uses an entirely different weapon among the three. Because I believe the Jogan Kai or the Reiki upgraded version, they still retain their main, theme going on here, while this guy kind of changes. All right, so we've seen the basics of the kit, still pretty good on terms of articulation, and then there is a bit of stickers, but I think these are not too bad if you ask me. And then they did a pretty good color separation in most parts. All right, so we've seen the basics of the kit, so I'll be right back with its weapons demonstration. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have all the stuff attached here. So here we have the Gatling gun. So yeah, the attachment is pretty much easy. So once again, there's a lot of parts that would connect to the main body, so nothing is really shaky or wobbly. First of all, there is the peg that connects to the main back here, and then on these top sections right over here, on these gray or black lines here, there is also another peg on the bottom that connects to the shoulder area. So you can definitely tell once you have everything on properly, there's nothing that should be shaking off or falling off in terms of the Gatling. The only thing that I could only assume that could fall off or peg off would be the belt, but other than that, I don't think it should be too much of a big deal going on here. Although I do question, like, if it's like in a canister here, how are the bullets aligned? Are they like standing upwards, or maybe there's a different formation? That is one question I do have, because I'm not really too familiar on the insides of these type of guns. So once again, here we have the gun can actually rotate going on here, so that's pretty cool. And then once again, another detail is that once you have all the hands connected to the handle, you can always also put the shield or the shoulder shields onto the front parts, like the way how they show you in the box. Now the good part is that now I do have this base support out, but it barely touches the ground no matter what I do. So apparently you're supposed to do in a pose where he's pretty much lying backwards like that, so he's pretty much sitting on the ground with this as a support. So I did my best, but once again, I'm having a little bit of trouble doing that. So I think the only thing I'm not doing correctly is that I need to do it something like this. I have to pull out the lower leg more forward and then like that. So maybe that is the more proper way to do so. But once again, as you can see, without doing the proper pose, you don't really need it, because while the gun may look heavy, this thing can actually hold the gun with his 2 feet as well. So you can see he's actually holding the gun, lifting up the gun with no problems as well. So this is pretty cool if you ask me. And I think this with this standing pose look much more better than the than the sitting one. So yeah, I think that some people are going to really enjoy this unit as well, especially for the weapons. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the Gatling gun, pretty much a straightforward build, and then the fun factor, and it's something very uncommon that we definitely don't see in the other mecha universe, especially like in Gundam series. We don't really see, I mean, we do see units that uses Gatling guns, but not like in this style. Alright, so we've seen the basics. I'll be right back with the double machine guns now. Okay, I'm back. So here's the final demonstration here. So I took out the double machine guns from the holster on here. So once again, the holster is here, and the holster can move a little bit backwards if you want to do so. So I think this is a really cool aspect. And yeah, once again, once you have the trigger fingers connected to the gun, there should be no problems as well. They are a firm connection. Now the hand doesn't have a hole and peg system, but the trigger finger does go through the hole onto the gun or the trigger area. So the guns are not loose by any means. And this is basically, I did something, did a similar pose that was in the manual here, and it works very well. So other than that, I'm pretty sure you can pull off a lot more cool poses if you want to do so, because once again, well, a lot of people do find like double gun hands really cool, so I think a lot of people will enjoy this kit as well. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the HG Jogan Kai from the Kyoukai Senki series part 2. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.